Hello, I'm Blaze and welcome back to Warframe. While I may generally prefer the more efficient secondaries, this thing has actually surprised me quite a bit. Time to spray down the area and put the Kohmak through its paces. The Kohmak was the other weapon introduced in Update 16 and is available as clan research from the chemical lab for 15,000 credits after the research has been completed. As for the foundry process, you will need 30,000 credits, 2 detonite injectors, 5,000 ferrite, 5,000 plastids, and 1 forma, and also meeting the mastery rank requirement of 3. Alternatively, if you'd rather get your hands on this pocket auto shotgun right now, you can pick it up from the market pre-built along with a pre-installed catalyst and its own weapon slot for 150 platinum. For its stats, it does a total of 16 damage per shot at its baseline, spread between 9.6 slash damage, 3.2 impact damage, and 3.2 puncture damage. And it has a fast default fire rate reporting itself at 5 rounds per second, and has a default magazine capacity of 40. But those 40 rounds will go by a lot sooner than you might expect at first. The reason for this is that the Kohmak shares mechanics with the Kohm. It starts at a slower rate of fire, and as it ramps up, it will fire more pellets per shot at a faster rate, but will consume more ammunition each shot as a result. After very carefully reviewing the footage I recorded, this seems to start at only 1 pellet, and then ramps up to 5 pellets per shot at its maximum. I realize that the wiki, as of this recording, says that it fires up to 6 pellets, but on my frame-by-frame analysis, I never see more than 5 hits register while testing without multi-shot, so I'm sticking to my guns on that number. It even shares the Kohm's innate 1 meter punch-through, making it the only secondary weapon that comes with punch-through by default to my knowledge. However, while it may chew through its magazine capacity rapidly, the reload time of 2 seconds means it doesn't have an unreasonable downtime. Sadly, its supplemental stats are rather lackluster. The critical chance is only 5%, meaning its 2 times critical damage multiplier generally won't matter. And its status chance is 10%, leaving it not only on the weaker side of secondaries in general, but also of shotgun type weapons. However, it does have a somewhat rare feature going for it, in that its pellets do not suffer damage attenuation over longer ranges. While obviously your damage output will still suffer against further targets due to fewer pellets connecting with the intended target, this does help keep it relevant over medium range. Though I have seen much worse accuracy on shotgun weapons in Warframe. Oh, and it does come with an innate polarity. Unfortunately, it's the fucking D again. I don't remember consenting to this, digital extremes. The Kohmak stats, as shown in the arsenal, do not show a lot of promise, but sometimes things can be surprising due to their mechanics. In this case, the short-term damage output of the Kohmak actually becomes quite considerable after it ramps up, as its reported damage per shot is only for the first shot. When properly modded, this thing will actually tear through your enemies in short order. Quite literally due to the fact that it is primarily slash damage, frequently leaving fallen enemies dismembered and bisected in its wake. And thanks to its lack of damage attenuation over range, at greater distances it can be used to spray down a crowd of enemies as well. However, its mechanics do come with the unfortunate drawback of shredding your ammunition reserves just as quickly as it shreds its targets under fully automatic use. It's the SUV of Warframe secondaries. Hell, it even has the obnoxiously large grille on front and the massive and impractical chassis. With that in mind, if you intend to use this thing for any length of time, I definitely recommend putting a pistol ammo mutation in there. I personally also eschew the dual stat elemental mods in favour of the normal elemental mods, or primed heated charge where applicable, to ramp up its damage output some more. While the extra status chance is kind of nice, shotgun style weapons don't actually work all that well with status builds unless you can get them to hit a 100% chance, because of how status chance per pellet is calculated. And with all 4 dual stat mods status chance bonus of 240%, only bringing the status chance up to 34% before multi-shot is accounted for, I just view that as being poor use of the mod space. I did notice some strange happenings during use, however. Exercising some trigger discipline resulted in an oddly tight cone of fire, even though it had technically ramped up to its maximum potential rate of fire. Time for science! The reason for this, I discovered, is because its accuracy is tied to its current rate of fire, and not how its maximum fire rate and pellet count has ramped up, while its pellet count is tied to how long it has been firing instead of its current rate of fire. To ensure that I had not made a mistake with this, I went out and tested the Kohmak with a few different builds, firing on full auto each time. One without any changes to fire rate as a control test, then a few tests with varying levels of differing fire rate. I went and shot at Lephantis' body a bunch for this, as it provides a conveniently large target, and shots that don't land on the weak spots show up as blue zeros in a decent radius. Let's take a look at the video footage. To avoid contaminating the results, I haven't used any multi-shot mods for these tests, so it only fires a maximum of 5 pellets each shot. First, with our control test, using no rate of fire mods. and a composite image made of the overlaying a number of frames from the video. This is a second control test that I did, which for some reason resulted in a very indistinct grouping. I'm not sure what went wrong here, but it happened, so for the sake of the scientific method, I'm including it here. Second, with Gunslinger. Gunslinger composite image. Third, with Gunslinger and Anemic Agility. Gunslinger plus Anemic Agility composite image. Finally, with Creeping Bullseye, resulting instead in a reduced rate of fire. And the Creeping Bullseye composite image. As you can see, Creeping Bullseye's limiting of the Kohmak's rate of fire greatly and clearly tightens the pellet spread. You can also see a clear difference between the default fire rate and the increased fire rates, though the difference between the example with Gunslinger and the example using both Gunslinger and Anemic Agility are less pronounced. Of course, I don't really recommend using Creeping Bullseye, and instead suggest just manually slowing down the rate of fire if you want higher accuracy. But I find the way that the mechanics work with the pellet spread to be quite interesting and useful to know. Anyway, enough with the analytical approach. I was surprised by how powerful this thing was, and even more surprising is how this thing ended up growing on me. I was ready to dismiss this thing at first, until I unraveled some of the mechanics. I doubt you'll be seeing me using this thing much, but it will join the axe stilettos in the small group of secondaries I occasionally take along when they happen to take my fancy. But of course, you should remember that while its damage output seems to be quite reasonable, it will chew through those pistol rounds with a voracious appetite that will require a pistol ammo mutation or a pistol scavenger aura, or perhaps even both, to accommodate it. It's no replacement for my Racta Ballistica, but I view it as a decent secondary choice in its own right. Thank you for watching my look at the Kohmak. All comments are appreciated, and I hope to see you around next time. For more content, feel free to give a click down below to watch my overviews of the other Update 16 weapon in the Ripkas, or check out a different kind of bullet hose with the Supra. And as always, good luck, have fun, and take care.